how do you change the symbol? It's in the top left of your chart.
Okay, I have ES there, which is what I wanted.
But again, you see your name,
Yeah.
so that means it's my
Okay.
symbol.
Okay, I just clicked a symbol over there, and now on account it says US USD. So that's the simulator account.
Yeah, so you're good to go.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Jake. Sorry for the
No
bother.
problem.
Okay.
You're welcome. Just remember this because it's gonna be the same exact thing every time.
Okay.
Tomorrow when you open your platform, it's not gonna load it right away. So remember, you have to in the morning. You just go to the simulator, start it, and then the data should pull in if it doesn't automatically load.
Okay. I'm recording the screen, so I'm recording what you and I are talking about. So I'll be able to refer to my recording if I can't remember it.
Okay,
So
perfect. And it's there in that guide I sent you. I figured this question would come up not just for you, but like often. That's why I made this so I can just
yeah,
it's like, hey, here I already wrote this up. So
yeah.
try and refer back to that too if you need to.
I will.
Screenshot should help.
I will. The big key was clearing the blank symbols that were the things that hit the trash on those other two. That's what made the big difference.
Right. So yeah, this with that, if there's, it won't start it for whatever reason if it's empty. So
Yeah,
you can either do multiple symbols or if it's just one symbol, just delete the blank ones.
yeah. No, that's what was holding me up. So I'm good. All right.
Okay,
Thanks, Jake.
perfect. Thanks, Dan.
All
No
right.
problem.
Okay. Bye.
See you later. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Okay. What's up, handsome? Huh? Handsome? Doc? You handsome doggy? Hey, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Stan. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, fine. Just calling to touch bases, see how things are going as the spring weather is hitting us finally.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking I might ride my bicycle today.
Oh, all right,
We're
all
getting
right.
we're getting like 75, so I think I'll go out and hit the road. I've been
Oh,
working for the last 3 weeks, nonstop, 7 days a week, um, paving the inside of my barn. A friend of a friend had a patio
uh-huh.
that had what they call pavers in it, which are these concrete blocks that are decorative. They're about
Yes.
they're about 4 inches thick, and each one weighs, God, 20 or 30 pounds. Uh, anyway,
Well, the last time I spoke with you, you had just gotten them.
oh, okay. I didn't. I thought it. Okay. Anyway, well, that's how long it's been since we spoke. Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, I have been installing them in my barn, which has been a great deal of work because it's backbreaking, bent
Oh,
over, digging out the ground and smoothing it, and so much of the ground is just laden with 1 inch diameter stone, and
oh,
and you hit it with a pick, and sometimes your pick stops cold when it hits the stone just right.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been more than aggravating, but I've I now have about a 7 foot wide strip right up the middle of my barn where I can drive my motorcycle in and no longer drive over that slick mud.
Oh,
And
all right.
but I've decided to take a few days off. Today's the first day I'm taking off because I've just worn my body to down to shreds. I'm just beat, completely beat.
Wow.
So that's where I'm in.
So, so this is a 7 foot wide strip, and how much are you doing the entire floor?
Yeah, that's my goal. I'd say I've got about 60% of it done
Okay.
because my barn is about 20 by 30. Um,
Okay, so 60% done. That looks like another roughly, well, up to about 3 weeks more. Then is what you
I
got.
think I can do it too, um,
Okay.
but I'm just like I'm thinking, what? Just go out and do a half a dozen blocks a day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Right,
what's a
right.
rush? Just because I've been just coming in so beat, and unfortunately, I don't think I'm any stronger. So that's a sort of a testament that us old guys really can't
Yeah.
build up much. So I don't want to. I've worn myself down. My back is sore. My side is
Yes.
sore.
Yeah.
My right left arm, which I'm left-handed, which does a lot most of the work, it's very sore. So just slow down.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no reason to be rushing something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Chris during this last since we last spoke, she had a couple of tons of rock uh, delivered, and she's rocking the wall on the south side of the driveway. She said there's no reason to get out there from dawn to dusk. Just do a few. It's just too much for my back, especially in the winter. Enough exercise back to keep it strong.
Yeah. You actually got to learn the art of taking it easy. Don't be in such a rush, and don't be so accomplishment oriented. How many can I
That's
put
right.
down today, kind of thing.
Yeah, right,
Which is
right.
which is I don't know how. I think you're that way. I know I am, and it's
Yeah,
when I was younger. That's fine.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And when I was talking to Chris about this, I said, as we get older, we have to really cultivate the idea of patience.
Yeah, it because in essence we do have the time.
That's right.
You
We have
know.
more time now, on a daily basis than we ever had. But we seem so much, so much more busy at this time that when I get up in the morning, um, sometimes late, like I did this morning, I got back at 8 o'clock already. And although I was up in the middle of the night reading, um, the idea is that I get up and I say, well, it won't be long before I'm back here again. Yeah, the day just goes so fast.
Yeah, what of course, I don't intend to spend another winter in the
Yeah,
north. Period.
yeah,
So, if I'm in Arizona or visiting you or visiting my friend over in Texas or something, I'll get out during the day and ride. By then, I'll own a dirt bike and go riding or go snake hunting or whatever. Just
yeah, yeah.
I
Right,
I
right.
hate being cooped up and just being stuck inside here and what's left to do, either read or or
Yeah.
uh, or watch TV. God. And
Yeah, we have an unwritten rule that we don't turn on the television till after 5.
that's that's something I'm uh, when as the weather warms, it's easy for me to do. Like my TV hasn't
Yes.
been on today. It's 10 o'clock. It has not been on,
Yeah.
and I don't have the desire to turn it on. And I actually feel like good if you don't. So anyway, I got these things I'm doing, and when I got a notice that they were going to turn off my power because
Again?
uh, oh, I guess you already knew about that.
Yeah, because we talked about you going to meet him face to face and getting something squared away
Yeah,
because
that didn't go well. They said too bad, um, and so I came up with this brilliant idea. I said, well, why don't I just put permanent power installed to my barn?
Right, right.
Because I noticed barns around this area have a line coming straight off the power pole to the street, straight to the barn with a meter.
Yeah.
So okay, so I went and applied for that. I contacted the power company. They came out. They took a GPS coordinate of where they wanted the pole to be installed, and so I did. I put a pole in. I put an outside meter box in, an inside circuit breaker box, and then I had to call the county to inspect it, and I failed the inspection on a number of issues. It surprised me, but
Okay, that's at that point. I didn't know that it had failed, so this is now mission. It's failed.
yeah, but I can fix it. I can fix everything.
Okay,
It's
good.
just going to cost more money. I'm now into this for $500, which I just didn't have $500 to spare. You know,
Yeah,
I had to do a brake job on my truck last and that was $140. Then I bought the bike. I told you my final cost of that was what 265 or something like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
So I'm out a grand last month that I couldn't afford. I'm I'm getting close to rock bottom, so I'm getting pretty desperate. I I decided to call Africa, just find out once and for all what's going on. Are we going to do this or not? Instead of
Yes.
because I hadn't heard from him since I believe it was December 14th, so 4 months.
Yeah.
So I called him and he uh, he didn't answer. So I left a message, and he messaged me back and said he's going to be back in South Africa. He's in Zanzibar, and he would call me the next day. He did not call me the next day, and again I'm at a point I don't want to sound desperate. I just want to get it out of my head. Is this going to happen or not?
Right, right,
So I
right.
said, so I'm going to call you again. I'm going to bug you. So I called
Yeah.
him, and he picked up on the second ring. So he didn't sit there and decide whether he answered or not. He just picked up. Um,
Right.
and he said that they're running into all kinds of delays in the Caribbean. And believe me, I understand that. I know what island time is. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so he said it's probably pushed out 6 to 8 months.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah. And so remember, I had discussed with him, why don't I just come over to Africa and work with you on the project in Zanzibar? Like that way, I'll get hands-on experience, and I'll be more than ready to go in the Caribbean. So I brought that up again, and he said, yeah, we probably could use you here. He said um, that they're doing a bunch of things. They're buying a farm on mainland Tanzania, a fruit and vegetable farm in the mountains, and they might need someone to manage that. They got an operation if they buy this thing where they truck the fresh produce every day down to the coast, and it goes across on a ferry to Zanzibar, and it goes out to the resorts. They meet an empty truck at the ferry, and they just switch trucks so they can keep it going every day.
Uh,
And he says that they're involved in another project where they're trying to eradicate some kind of Asian crow, which has just overtaken Zanzibar and just killing everything, or eating all the lizards, just having a tremendous environmental impact on the native wildlife. He said,
wow.
"Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, and I could be involved in that." And I love crows. I think the crows and grebus are the coolest birds around, and they're smart. But it is what it is. And then there's a game farm there where they're breeding endangered species. Part of that project, and I could be involved in that. And then of course be involved in the water and ice production facilities in Zanzibar, and hydroponics for green leafy vegetables like spinach and lettuce and all that kind of stuff, which is all in process right now, according to him. And he said, look, I can't afford to pay you what I said I could until we get up and running. Well, that's fair. I appreciate being upfront with me. He said, how much do you need? I said, well, what can you pay me? I said,
Right.
he had offered me 180, so what am I gonna, I'm gonna say, oh, I'll work for 50,000.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's you know, of course, I'm in a position of beggars can't be choosers, but it's a very big project for me. I would have to sell my property, sell my camper, do something with my dog, and in what few personal goods or possessions I still own, which all fit in a 20 by 30 barn, um, I have to dispose of or store or something. So it's a big deal. It's not like I just
Sure it is.
took a job across town. So
Exactly.
we'll see what he offers me. He's supposed to call me back today because he's talking to the guy who's funding most of this stuff. It's a very wealthy dentist, guy who owns a string of dental chain in Ohio.
Yeah.
I told you about him. So he's waiting to talk to him, but he's in the middle of a sale and having a little too busy and all that. But anyways, said he called me today. So if he does, he does. If he doesn't, it means he didn't talk to him. I'll wait another day or two. But I don't know. So my life is really up in the air. If this doesn't work, um, so my last option is I'm almost out of money. You remember in October I had $10,000. Well, I'm down to 2,000. So that's pretty awfully damn broke for a person to be at any age.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Thank heavens I own a piece of property outright. Um,
Yes.
and I would attempt to sell it for 125 and hope to get at least 100 for it, and that'd be cash in my pocket. Um, so in the meantime,
But you gotta have someplace else to live.
yep, yep. I was very disappointed in my friend Joe, who owns 50 some acres nearby, and the place where I originally camped when I moved here,
Yes. Yes.
and a guy with whom I've become very good friends, and I've done a tremendous amount of work for him. Fixed his lawnmowers, tractor. I've done all kinds of construction in his barn, including a new center post, which is a huge job. Um, and I've done other things like, oh, I did a lot of heavy equipment work on his creek bed, made it so he could get across the creek bed to the other part of his property. A lot of work into that, and I'm not valuing that as I need repayment for that.
Right.
I didn't do it for any perceived advantage. I did it because I'm his friend. I can do that kind of work, and I saved him a lot of money. And just said,
Right. Right.
I just said, Joe, I could do that. And so I've done a lot of things for him. So I go to breakfast with him pretty much every Saturday morning. So he's been aware of my demise.
Yeah.
And so last Saturday, I was just telling him just how bad it's gotten, and I hadn't heard from Africa because I just talked to Africa midweek of this week, last week. So I hadn't talked, don't know anything about Africa. So I was just telling him, I said, I don't know, I guess I'm going to be forced to sell my property. And I said, I just don't know where to go. Um, and he didn't say, well, come on over here, which would be no skin off his chin or whatever you call it, skin off or something. And I was so hurt by that, Galen. I just can't tell you
I
how
understand.
how it hit me. Um, and I said I guess I could go up to my brother's place for the summer. I can't stay there in the winter, Arctic up there. I said, but the trouble is, I'd be living with a generator. I don't want to do that. And I said I had a friend offer me to come and stay at his place down in Florida. He lives in Sebring, and a reptile breeder, so help him with the operation and all that. But I said, I don't want to go down to Florida and be in a camper in the summer. I mean, good God.
Yeah, right.
You know, so
Right.
I said, I really don't want to do that. I said, maybe the winter. So I said, I just don't know what to. And I'm just thinking, well, Joe, what do you say,
Yeah,
bud?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, right,
and
right.
I don't want to ask him. I don't feel like I would put him on the spot. And so I just blew me away. Blew me away. I think I could ask my neighbor Don, who owns my boy Doc. I think he would let me go up there and camp on his property. Uh, and so I think I have that option, I suspect. And I think if I just came out right and asked Joe, he would say, sure, no problem. Um,
But you shouldn't have to ask that close.
no, and I've been that good a friend to him. You know, I'll do anything for anybody, and I've done some major stuff for him. I mean,
Right, right.
that
The
barn.
way you just described it, yeah, we're talking major, major. But we had a situation recently where a friend of ours, her daughter has brain tumor, which is um, they didn't give her long to live. She underwent experiment, and she finally came. She rarely communicates, and she just lived on the other side of the cash plant, and we've known basically the day we got here because she was my first class. Her mother was, and so 50 years, and her teacher, her, I was teaching, so I with him, and they were in dire straits here. Insurance doesn't come for experimental treatment. She has to find work. Back. She's commuting to New York Street.
Why did she just stay there?
She can't afford to stay there. Um, it's less expensive to come back because now it's down to once a month she flies back.
Oh, I see. She couldn't claim she
Uh,
was an illegal immigrant.
yeah, right, right. And staying in those luxury hotels
Yeah,
right
for
near the
Pete's
hospital.
sakes.
You're absolutely right. But she finally she's had other issues, but we think there's something else going on because um, Chris, she sat and she spoke with us, she and her daughter, for almost 2 hours, and we're listening to the financial loss of this medical situation. They live in a nice place across from us, a lot of land, and a beautiful home they built, and but it almost looked like how sometimes medical just take everything you got. And Chris wrote her a check for many thousands of dollars, and I said, "Whoa, you sure?" I said this afterwards, and I cannot believe that number one, she didn't. Apparently, she made a mistake. She only wrote it out to one and had to be two or some such thing.
What,
And
one
she
or
came,
two what?
either mother or the daughter or
Oh,
both of them together.
people. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I was, I was listening to the story. I said, well, we can help them. Um, but when she told me how much she gave her, I said, oh. Um, and then this is the part that got us.
Oh
and it's
God.
like she, yeah, and it's
Oh.
like she's,
Oh
and,
God. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, I know. I am just so stunned. And she gave the daughter some cash to go to Germany because she was going to Germany to get away from all of this medical stuff because it was becoming overwhelming, and she had friends who were going to take her to Germany, and she never went, and she kept the money, and
Oh.
no, nothing was told to us about why she didn't go, and then we get an email. Just yet, Chris hasn't seen it yet. I told her about it, but they want to have a fundraising dinner at one of the churches here. And I said, well, you know how these fundraising dinners go. They'll never get as much money as you gave them in one fell swoop. And I told her, I said, it's just simply just write the check for the truck and hope for the best. So of course he had a major accident in the truck while he was high on something, destroyed the truck.
Oh God.
And you've had experiences in your lifetime when you've done things for people, and you don't expect any payback, but you do expect some gratitude.
You know,
And
I lent a car hauler trailer, which is a very expensive trailer, 5,000 or something like
yes,
that, to a
yeah,
guy in New Mexico, and he left it in his boss's parking lot or something, and it disappeared. And number one, he didn't thank me for lending it to him.
oh
And number
my
one, he didn't
gosh,
tell me what. Number two, he didn't tell me it was stolen. Number three, when I
oh,
said I need it, he said, "Oh, it got stolen." And
that was it.
yeah, oh, it got stolen. Well, you owe me 5 grand. Uh, you know, it just.
Oh yeah. I understand. I understand. You know, my half brother who lives in California, Well, he says, I need 3,500 pay for my utility bill. And I said, Glenn, I have a $3,500 utility bill. And he says, they're going to shut me down here. And
Was it for a business?
no, his home.
You can't have a $3,500 bill. They shut you off when you're a month or two out.
Well, that's what I thought. So I figured he was just, trying to use that. I called the utility company. And they
Yeah.
said, yes, he's got 1 week left to pay his $35 bill. I said, how is it possible to have a $3,500 bill? We don't know, but he uses it, and found out, well, I found out from another source that for the high life, party, all this sort of, never any money. Was living like he's a multi-millionaire.
But how do
Which
you?
he was. Which he was at one time.
Yeah, well,
But
I know what that's like. How on earth can a house outside of
a mansion.
a mansion have a $3,500 electric bill? How could that be possible?
Well,
Unless he had a big marijuana operation and was running all those high voltage
Yeah.
lights and everything.
Well, I don't know, and so I paid the bill, and he still owes me that.
Yeah, you'll never get
But
it.
no, I knew that. But here's the kicker to this story. Not only did I not get a thank you for getting it back, but the last time I spoke, I had the nerve to ask indirectly, hey, son's college education.
Indirectly, we had somebody else ask you.
No, no. When I say indirectly, it's telling me how you have enough money for
Oh,
college education, and that his mother and father-in-law paying his daughter's college education. And I said, the only time he called us,
yeah.
and he said, well, no, there are other ways to pay for college, and one of them is to be smart enough to get a scholarship.
In which case, you deserve to be in college.
Yeah, right.
I
And
guess if college does anything anymore.
I know. This was once again, quite some years ago, but in recent times, and he's a Democrat, and so politically we don't agree at all. But I don't get upset about that because everybody has their own ideas, etc. But that was the last time we spoke, and this year for Christmas, last year for Christmas, that was in 2023. Um, when I paid it back 24, I said, because I write the Christmas letter, Chris sends them out, and this year we didn't even hear uh, anything. Not even a card that said, like in 2023, it just said the Farringtons after they got our card.
Hmm.
That was it.
Yeah,
And
well, people will let you down. I guess anyone who comes begging for money is has sort of qualified themselves as a bit of a fuck up, like me, right?
well, we all have rough times, but what happened to gratitude? What happened to a simple thank you? What happened to showing that you really appreciate what you've done for them? It's like you and your buddy there with, you've done. I can't imagine doing that much work for somebody and not having gratitude to even offer a solution, a possible choice in your situation.
I thought we were better friends than that. You know, he is a multi millionaire. He's worth
Oh my
I figure
gosh.
5 million at least, and he's sitting on a piece of land that developers want badly because he's surrounded by developments. He get 5 million for the property, and this is the guy who his name's Joe Tillman. He lives in this old single story house, um, and the water doesn't work, so he collects water from a barrel outside. So he flushes his toilet with a bucket. So he takes shower with a sponge. Um, he doesn't have electricity in parts of the house because it just doesn't work anymore. So when he goes into his kitchen, he opens his refrigerator so the light from the refrigerator illuminates the kitchen. There's, and uh, he he just lives like the absolute poorest person on earth. He we were out one day just recently, and we were driving back to his pond, and there was 5 guys fishing on it, and he doesn't allow anyone on the pond. They went running away, and then he went back a couple of days later, and there were some more guys there, and he said, "Could you put one of your trail cameras there?" And I said, "Joe, I'm not paying the monthly subscription on them to save money because it's $10 per camera per month." And he, I said, I'll give you one of the cameras if you want to get the subscription on. He goes, "Oh God, $10."
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. He's like that about every. Just he's a coupon cutter. So he's gonna die. He's not married, doesn't have any kids. He's gonna die, and he has a brother and a sister. The brother has Alzheimer's, so he's a goner.
Oh, geez.
And the sister's a half sister, and he doesn't like her. And he's gonna die worth $10 million, and he will have lived the life of a pauper. Uh, and I've tried to talk him into building a beautiful home on his pond or something. I said, "Joe, you got the money. Why don't you live?" And I've given up on it. I don't lecture him. I'm a good enough friend. I can tear into him and say, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And when he was whining about $10, I said, "Yeah, right, Joe. So one of these kids comes over and drowns in your pond, and you get
Yeah.
sued and you lose the whole property because you wouldn't spend $10 a month to monitor their activity back there. Because it's a cell camera, it would ding his phone and he'd know they were back there." I said, you're not thinking straight at all. Um, but you know, I told him, I said, "Joe, you are." He goes, "I know," but you know, and he could offer to help me out financially. He could offer to help me out because I've told him financially. I said what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact my high school buddy and see if he'll loan me 20 grand. And I have been paper trading in this futures trading account and doing very well. I paper traded this morning and made 3,500. So that's not real money, but that's what I would have made on the trade. Uh,
Oh.
and I'm doing that consistently. 1,000 a day is not hard to do. I finally figured it out, got control of myself, all that stuff. So I was telling him, I said, "Yeah, I'm thinking about borrowing money from my high school buddy." I said, "I don't know if he'll lend it to me." I said, "He's got a great pension. He's wounded in the military, so he pulls down 70K a year. He inherited parents' properties. They had a property up in Cranberry Lake in the Adirondacks, and he inherited their house." And I said, "He's in good shape." I said, "I don't know if he'll lend it to me." And it was just an opening for Joe, who has.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe could
It
have said, "Well,
really
I'll,
is.
I'll lend it to you." But nope.
Yeah, yeah.
And the whole time he really values me as a, well, maybe values is the right word, but likes me to come around and help him. I've helped him on dozens of things. I just was mentioning the big ones. Um,
Yes, yes.
and and he knows what kind of person I am, and I just thought he would offer. I wasn't fishing for it, but at that point I was already starting to get really disappointed and hurt that he's such a tight bod, and um, it's funny, like when I put in the beam in his barn, that took me 3 days of hard work to build the beam because I built it with 2x10s, and I got 5 of them, and I glued and laminated them together and ran big timber locks through them. And actually made the post, which was
Yes,
held
yes.
up the roof of his barn, and the post was like 20 feet long. So what a major job. And it took me
And you
several
were doing
days.
this yourself.
Yeah, well, he was helping, but he's not that much help. He's 10 years younger than me, but he's badly arthritic. He's diabetic. He's overweight, and so he can't do that much. But the point is, so how does he repay me? He said, well, I'll buy you breakfast.
Oh, jeez.
Now I'm not looking for repayment. I'm not.
I
I
understand.
make that
I
clear.
understand.
But breakfast doesn't even pay for a handful of nails. Uh,
That's right.
and I bought some of the stuff to put into it, um, and and I just like, uh, no, I don't want you to give me anything. I'm not looking for anything. I'm helping you out as a friend, and you actually feel that you should buy me breakfast to make up for it.
Yeah, right. Right.
Pretty ridiculous. So anyway, I threw that out in front of him, saying I was going to call Ron and try to get the money. And I thought he might say, "Well, I'll lend it to you," but he didn't. But he and, and I told him, I said, "Look, if I borrow it from Ron, and I take 20,000, and if I can't make money in order to pay him back in the stock market, if that 20 drops down to 15, I will quit. I'll send the
Oh,
15 grand back to Ron. I'll sell my property. I'll pay him the other 5 grand, and I'll have whatever I have to move forward in life." And 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 that we've talked for hours. When we go to breakfast, we usually sit there for 2 or 3 hours just talking about all kinds of things. And
yeah.
so I was saying, well, another plan I could have is when I sell the property is replace my truck, because you've seen my truck, um, and then buy a 16 to 18 foot camper so that I can travel, go to Montana for the summer or something, and go to Arizona for the winter, and just
Yeah.
live like a vagabond with you know say I get 100,000 for the property, and spend 10 or more to get probably 15 to get a truck and a camper, then I live out the rest of my life on 85 grand plus 1250 a month Social Security. Uh, but I said it's really not how I envision my life coming to a close. but
Yeah.
then this African thing has come up. But to be honest, I don't really want to do that anymore. I don't. Um, I have to. If he offers me a reasonable amount, but if he offers me 50 grand, I don't see how it's worth it.
Right. Right.
To
That's
uproot
not even the
everything.
average. That's not even the average salary in the U.S.
No, the average salary is like 68,000, I think.
66. Yeah. You're
66.
right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, it requires me to do something with, my bows, my
Yes.
arrows,
Yes.
my guns, my targets, my motorcycle, all my tools, all my hunting
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
Just, I have a certain amount of stuff left that I still own, that I'd rather not get rid of, but putting it.
Right. Right.
So I'm just in no man's land right now. I don't know what I'm gonna call Ron, see if he'll lend me the money. I'm pretty sure he will. And I'll tell him, I'm gonna sell my property and I'll pay it back when I sell it. But honestly, the way I think I can trade, which we've all heard that before from me. Um,
Yeah.
but the way I think I can trade, I think I can make that money back in a reasonable amount of time and just pay him back. Um,
Okay. So okay, that seems to be something that you've got squared away. Is making money after you have something with which to start. But what about with your brother working in the summer up north in New York? What were you planning to do in the winter if you did that?
go south.
That's what I thought.
Certainly not going to stay there. Uh,
Right, right. Go south, but were you not gonna go south to his property down there in is North Carolina? I think it is.
no, that's not his property. It's a guy named Dwight Campbell, who I roomed with for a couple of years. He and I rented. houses and apartments together during my post-college years.
Okay.
And he was a high school buddy, a classmate of my brother Jim. And Dwight and I became friends way back then in the early 70s. And he was in construction, and I was a school teacher. And we rented two different apartments and one house over the course of a couple of years. So,
Okay.
so anyway, Dwight, who I never thought would amount to a hill of beans, he's a very weak person. Uh, Somehow got involved in working for an injection molding company, and somehow with a buddy of his, they bought the company or bought into it or something, and ended up with a company, and it turned very successful. And he's right now selling the property. So he lived in outskirts of Rochester, down by the Thruway, called Bergen, and he bought this property in North Carolina where he's now moving, and that's where Jim spent his winter down there in Dwight's property. And Dwight has offered him um, to an acre of his property. He's got something like 50 or 65 acres, an acre of property to build a house on if he'd like. And Jim can sell his property. He's been told it's worth $500,000, that cottage on the river, and it probably
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And he's got that little 10 acre, 25 acre, I forget what it is, strip of land. He calls it farm, yeah, which is where I would have camped.
Yeah.
But I didn't want a cold camp. He said he was going to put electricity. Well, now he's reevaluating whether he wants to do any of that.
Oh.
He was
Oh
going to.
my gosh.
He wanted me to come up, and I'm still scheduled to go up there in the middle of April and help him clean the place up and some remodeling and all that stuff, because he was going to do Airbnb rentals with it all summer long. But he's having a change of heart. He's thinking about just selling. And,
What about your brother? You know, where you came out here to Colorado and did so much work for him on that property.
well, that's Dan is Dan. You know, Dan and I uh, fought like cats and dogs when we were kids, and it was because our parents fought like cats and dogs, and I, being the oldest, got the most discipline, so I took it out of my brother. All that's just easy, easy explanation, and it's easy to recognize. But Dan never got over it. He's never really liked me, all the way into adulthood. And he and I had season tickets together for the Denver Nuggets when I lived in Denver, and I lent him 30 grand when he wanted to build a house. And I've been a friendly brother to him as much as possible, but he still holds me at arm's length. Um, you,
Dang.
you know his.
But I remember you going out there and doing so much because of his basically his attitude. Um, but I mean, you worked your tail off for him building that foundation.
I dug the ditch for his power all the way from the road back to his place, which was a couple hundred yards, and then I did the foundation work on both buildings
Yes.
and the ditches in between. I did a lot of work, but that's fine. I love to help people.
I know. I know.
If
I
you
know.
call me tomorrow and say, hey, I got some heavy work I got to do here, I need some help, I jump in the truck and head out there, just
Yeah.
because I love to help people. It's gratifying. Well, it's not always gratifying because they don't always appreciate it, but
Yeah.
but my brother Dan, no matter how friendly he can be when we're together or whatever, he still just he doesn't stay in touch. I can call and leave a message, and he never calls back. Um, here's an interesting example. He has a pond on his property in Missouri, and it was leaking. It was giving him a lot of trouble. And and my brother Jim was up there.
Pond was leaking.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So my brother Jim was up there, and he said, "Well, why don't you call Stan? Stan's dug like 20 ponds in his life. He knows that shit inside and out." And Dan told Jim, said, "Yeah, I'll give him a call." He never called me. Uh, Yep, when I want to know anything about solar or hydroponics or any of that stuff, which he does, I call him right up. Say, hey Dan,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, so I willingly reach out to him for help, but he won't reach out to me for anything. And so anyway, Dan is Dan. Dan knows through Jim that I'm struggling, and I have not heard from Dan. He's not calling. He doesn't want to hear it. Uh, and that's Dan. He's a raging liberal, of course, and
Yeah.
he knows I'm the opposite. And he doesn't dare argue it with me. I rip him to shreds. But he argues it with Jim, and Jim doesn't do as well arguing with him as I would. So he'll talk politics with Jim, but he won't talk to me about it. But anyway, it's a you know arm's length relationship, and I'm very sad about that.
Yeah.
But the part that's so sad is that it's a carryover from when we were kids and we had all kinds of troubles. You know?
And yeah, and it's a carryover that he hasn't learned from.
No lie. I mean, it's bizarre.
Yeah. And we all make mistakes. All
Well,
make
listen, when
mistakes.
you're a 12, 14, 15-year-old kid, of course, you know?
Exactly, exactly. But I'm reading this book. It's Trek. The name of the book is Trek. It's about the Trek Bicycle Company.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. Okay, we're talking about mistakes, right? And that's what flashed through my mind last night watching one of the programs. And I made a comment, paused. The commentator, I think it was Gutfield,
Yeah.
was talking about Biden and his non-activity, and I said, um, I'm bet he's going to talk about how people don't make mistakes, don't have any actions, don't move forward. And I said, I just read this about this author named Jim Collins, who talking about the greatest leaders in the world with lots of mistakes because constantly doing risky things. And Biden, he did not make mistakes because he didn't do anything. And that was virtually 30 seconds what Gutfield was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And but we have to, there are people who don't learn from their mistakes. That is really the incredibly sad part. How do you not learn from the mistakes and try to move forward, realizing that you may make mistakes in the future, and I'm sure we all will, but you can't move forward if you have no action.
Yeah. You know, not to bring the conversation back to myself again. We talked about me too much already, but my monumental downfall in the stock market was uh, a combination. I mean, the real reason was emotional control and emotional panic. Um, and the interesting part was I always, even till the very end, felt confident I could do this.
Uh,
And it's interesting. So you talk about how can you make a mistake and not learn from it. Talk about a case study. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
you
Well,
know,
you have learned from it. But you learned at a tremendous price.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And you're still working through it.
I am, and it's the emotional end of it is
Well,
bizarre. It's
it's not only bizarre, it's devastating, especially
yeah,
at this stage in life.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't help, and to not have anything else. I mean, luckily I still own this. Thank heavens I own this, because if I
Yeah,
didn't, I would have lost it too. I absolutely hit absolute complete rock bottom, and, and I mean, I'm literally contemplating. Oh my God, my life is more or less over. Uh, you know, having any sort of financial stability into old age is gone. And you, what are you going to do? And literally, what am I going to do? Am I going to take a job at O'Reilly's Automotive and make whatever they pay per hour and just spend the rest of my life till I'm 90 years old and they won't want me anyway? Um, Trying to get by, I'd rather be dead. Truly. Um, and there's no dignity in having fallen that far whatsoever. So I'm at a point right now where it's fully accepted how I got so trapped in the emotional end of it, but to think that I couldn't intellectually overcome that and get a grip on it, and just kept as the amount of money I had just kept going down and down and down and down. I couldn't hit the brakes and fix it earlier. I'm perplexed that I'm that stupid that I would let my emotions just destroy my life. So
It's not about stupidity. It's about your emotional state. You, emotions are extraordinarily strong.
They're chemical.
And it takes, yeah, yeah, and it's very, very difficult to go against emotion. Very difficult. So, uh, it's in the past. You're working this mistake that you made, and as you're saying, is what we all face as we get older. Um, Biggest thing for you that financial so secure it won't take much to have.
I'm basically, well, luckily I have the property, but without the
That's
property,
right.
I would be there
Yeah,
right now.
that's correct. You still have enough intelligence to be able to work this out yourself. You know the people around you are going to be supportive, help you, and well, if you're rocking the hard place, get to that point, there are people who are going to help you. Know that have offered, and friend, a high school buddy,
Um,
is probably going to get Ron, Ron,
Ron.
Ron, Ron. Yeah, I've always spoken about him, and probably be able to help you. And it's a struggle. I think part of why you're doing paving barn is to do something to not um, thinking constantly about the situation you're in.
Oh,
So
absolutely keep me busy.
yes, and you're beating yourself up at the wrong time of life.
Yeah, I'm in a really bad spot. As I've mentioned to you, that I've learned how to use these stop loss orders, where
Yes, yes.
the instant you hit buy, you programmed it so the stop loss is triggered. So I bought it $100 a stop, and the stop loss at 95 is there the second I bought it. So if it drops $5, I'm out, done. And this morning I bought 5 futures contracts on the S&P 500, and I put in a stop loss of $250. So I was willing to lose $250 on the against the risk that it appeared it was going to go down. It was going down. It was pretty methodical. So I said I'll take a $250 risk on that. So I hit it, and uh, the market opened like a minute and a half later. So typical when the market opens, it continues what it was doing the minute or two before. Sometimes continues very hard and fast, and it did. And so when it moved down fast, I was it moved down. And I was already $1,500 in the plus. I took my stop loss. You can go and click on it on the screen and drag it. So I dragged it to break even. Uh, so I dragged it to the price that I bought it for. So I dragged the stop loss to $100, and that isn't the actual price. I'm just making it easy to
Yes,
explain.
yes.
And so I said, okay, the worst that can happen, I'm not even going to lose $250 now. the worst that can happen is I break even.
Right, right.
And son of a gun, within 2 or 3 minutes, it had dropped down tremendously, and I was positive $3,500. And I said, "Wow, this futures trading is phenomenal, but you've got to have it figured out." So
And you've got to approach it from a very objective rather than subjective
yeah,
attitude. And Stan, I'm gonna have to go and
okay.
take care of procedure here.
Oh, okay. How's that coming?
It hasn't changed
Oh gosh.
much. And a friend of mine, feedback therapist, give treatments.
I know about
Um,
that. Yeah.
Fortunately, it's kindness of his heart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I really, like most of us, having long-term medical conditions that have to be met is debilitating. Yeah. So at any rate, for me, I feel fortunate that I can still conduct my life, but it's on a very short. Can't do it about 6 hours without some sort of this procedure.
Well, that's
And
not too bad.
no, it's not. When I see what other people are going through, I'm very thankful.
Yeah.
Because I can still, if I need to, like every Thursday I go see mom, it's more than 6 hours, and so what I do is just simply stop drinking. Uh, that way, I don't have fluid that I have to get rid of.
You can't
But
take care of it when you're there.
uh, I it's too short a time period. I mean, I haven't learned to be able to do that and use what insurance is paying for my supplies. I did ask my urologist, what happens if I have more than 4 times a day?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and he was talking about using up your supplies. I know because you explained to me, insurance pays for X number of catheters. He said, you're just going to have to learn to wash them. If
Ooh.
you, yeah. And I said, oh, okay. So I try to keep strict schedule so I don't fall into any kind of supply deficit. And I'm doing all right. It's not. I think about what you last year chainsaw. I don't. I'm, you're a tough guy. You're a tough guy
I,
physically and mentally. Um, you let some sometimes in your life emotions have overtaken, and it's
mm-hmm.
not just the stock market. You know that,
Mm-hmm.
and your willingness to help other people. Um, it's come to a point where you can't continue to do that. And you really want to do that psychologically. That's a boost for you to be able to do that. I see that same thing in Chris. She gets disappointed so regularly. There's no gratitude. I mean, zero gratitude. As you
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
You understand.
That's
And
bizarre.
yeah, and for me to see her go through that, um, we discuss it. Oh, it's almost gotten to the point we have a lifetime together behind us about giving. Um, that's almost daily that something comes up that brings that to the forefront. And I say, you can't keep thinking about this. We can't keep discussing. We have no control. We just have to go on with our lives. And we're fortunate we can do these things
Well, thanks for calling. It's good to hear from you. And hang in there. Say hi to Chris for me.
I will, I will. And things won't work out. Have something fortunate that people have to drop $10,000 literally, and they're not seeing them help you.
That's on them, specifically
Yes,
Joe.
it is.
That's on him because that's what he is at the core. That's too bad. That's too
Yeah.
bad. But Joe isn't mentally normal. I told you,
No, he isn't.
you
Not
know.
from what you, but not from what you said.
No. So
I find it. I
what can
find.
I expect from him? You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I could ask
I
him
mean,
outright, but I just can't do it.
well, I understand that. What I don't understand is how you can talk to him for 3 or 4 hours at breakfast.
2 or 3 hours, not 3 or 4. Uh,
Two or
well,
three hours.
well, he's a very, very smart guy. And we talk about the stock market. We talk about politics. We talk about uh, haunting. He doesn't haunt, but I do. We talk about things on TV. We talk about sports, basketball and football.
So you talk about everything,
Yeah, he's
and he has an intellectual level of reciprocation,
yes.
but he can't help himself.
Nope, nope. So yet he's a very savvy investor in the market. Now he's lucky because he started 20 or 30 years ago when
Yeah,
something like Apple was $1 a share, and
yeah, yeah.
he's very lucky because it just blew up as some of these major tech stocks went through the roof. He's made millions of dollars off of Nvidia alone, uh,
Wow.
just because he bought it when
Okay,
it was
Stan, I gotta
okay.
go.
Okay,
Okay.
love you, buddy. Bye.
We'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. I'm liking that. Stan Churis, 5002 Waterloo Road, Burlington, Kentucky, 41005. Period. Thanks, Dan. I look forward to reading. Make sure you spell my name right. Makes a point. One thing I got to do is stay busy. Stay busy. Lunchtime, I do. I'm gonna take that probably. So, one day after lunch, after 2 hours before breakfast. Lunch. Oh, okay. Assuming I eat more than I. What's up, handsome? You are the most handsome puppy. Yes, you are. You don't mind if I step on you or anything, do you? No, Dad, I don't mind. Please step on me all you want, Dad. I'm happy with whatever you want to do. You are. Over here, Tiger. What'd you do that for? Hold on. I don't hear anything. Let's try it again. My sound off? No.
Please hold while we connect your call. Good morning, F.T. Lawrence.
Hi, I need to get a 100 amp breaker and some kind of bolt down kit for.
Okay, one moment, please.
All right.
Good morning, F.T. Lawrence.
Hi, I've just put a circuit breaker box in my barn and I need a 100 amp breaker for it and a hold down kit for it. It's the breaker, I think, is a HOM type.
Okay.
Can you tell me if you have those in stock and how much it cost?
Yeah, do you have an account with us?
No, I don't. I'm just a private guy doing my barn. Look at all these numbers. All that.
I have the breaker, but unfortunately I don't have the retaining bracket.
Oh, okay. Can you get that or?
Yeah, looks like I have one in my Burlington branch.
Oh, well, I live in Burlington. I didn't know you had a branch there.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me what these cost and
Yeah, for the breaker, you were looking at $69.53.
okay.
And for the retaining bracket, you're looking at $5.42.
Okay. Do you have any way of knowing if the breaker is at your Burlington store?
Yeah, I can see there. Yeah,
Okay.
looks like they have some there as well.
Okay. Can you tell me what their address is and I'll zip over there?
Yeah, let's see here. Burlington. It is 5582. I'm gonna butcher the street name. Limaberg Road.
Yeah, that is a weird one. Could you spell that?
Yeah, it's Limaburg Road.
Okay, in Burlington.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Okay, well, I'll head over there. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it.
No problem, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.
Go get that, boy. Go get that. Okay, kids, Daddy's gonna be off and gone again. This and this. Yeah. I know you're going to be mad at me for leaving. That's how life goes. Daddy has work to do. I know. Directions 5582 Limaberg Road, Burlington, Kentucky.
Starting route to 5582 Limaberg Road. Head east on Waterloo Road.